Pero bueno, ¿se puede saber cómo estáis? ¿Cómo estáis? Estamos yendo a visitar una startup de humanoides. ¿Qué me pitas? Humanoides. No sabéis los productos que están produciendo. Vamos a hacer una pequeñita entrevista con el caballero, a ver qué nos cuenta y a ver qué información le podemos sacar, ¿no? Esta es una startup que está aquí basada en Shenzhen, que ya está trabajando con partners interesantes, con clientes grandes. Ahora nos va a contar un poquín. Vamos a hacer en inglés, podríamos hacer en chino, pero en inglés va a ser más interesante para vosotros. Y a ver también un poquito cómo se posiciona, ¿no?, en este mercado tan competitivo que hay por acá. Esta startup hace diferentes productos, pero se enfoca en Tactile Sensoring, que es el sensor que tiene el humanoide en la manopla. Viene a ser en los deditos. Pero también venden otros productos que lo voy a poner por aquí. Esto va a quedar guapísimo, atiendan. ¡Paz! ¡Paz! Por aquí doble. Y aquí el principal. Oye, esto ha quedado guapísimo, no lo voy a repetir, no me lo pidáis. Estamos llegando. Como veis es un edificio, no es una fábrica, no tiene una fábrica aquí. Pero bueno, aquí también hacen el assembly. Así que vamos para adentro a ver qué nos cuentan los monstruos. Yipai, Shenzhen.
Is it already started?
Yes, we're starting already.
Great. Welcome to our company. Let's go inside.
Vamos para adentro, pibes. Okay, in Vienna.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah. So,
Very cool. Oh, you have the robot.
the
display
robot.
now.
Yes. We already prepared the robot.
对，我可以说中文。
你中文很好，是不是？
它可以听懂你。
可能拍视频的时候可以说英文，因为我的看视频人对他是更方便，可以吗？
OK， 可以啊。
我很高兴，因为你给我这个机会，所以
It's our pleasure because we are also not only facing to the market in China, but we think the robotic market will be for the all over the world, and the international exposure will be a very good benefit for us. So
Amazing.
first, a bit of the history for the company.
Yeah, amazing.
We were from a research group from Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. Back in the university, we do a lot of robotic manipulation related research. For example, we do tactile sensing, tactile helps robotic manipulation, and learning this kind of stuff. And now we started as a company, and we hope to commercialize a lot of the research to the market to help the commercialization for embodied AI. Here, there are different products, and the first one is which we spent many years on. Vision-based, meaning it is using a kind of camera inside, small deformation on the surface. Once there is a pressure, once there is a touch on the surface, the tiny displacement will be captured by the camera in a very high resolution way, in a very dense way. So these tactile sensors are especially useful for precise and dexterous manipulation, because robots currently they lack this ability to feel the object they are holding. So once they have this level of touch, they can reason about what will happen and will be more intelligent. So these tactile sensors, you can have a press on the sensors.
You showed me last time, it was very cool.
We have the signals, like here on the left, it is a normal force distribution, and here is a shear force distribution.
Esto es lo que es muy interesante, porque tienen un sensor en el dedo que, como veis aquí en la pantalla, te está mostrando al final el tacto, que en muchas tareas muy fáciles, como viene a ser pues coger una bayeta o mover un plato, son cosas que pesan muy poco y son muy precisas y son muy difíciles de manejar. Ellos con su sensor pueden obtener más data de la acción que está haciendo el robot y entrenarlo de una manera mucho más eficaz.
And here we can show one of the big advantages for the sensor is the high resolution. We can see from here.
You can see the shape.
Yeah, the shape, texture is very clear, can be captured. So using these, you can imagine if the robot is holding some kind of components for assembly, and the robot can feel what kind of component it is and what is the current pose or current position in the fingertip, so they can better adjust themselves to finish these assembly tasks.
So the main focus of the tactile sensor here is to allow the robot to actually feel and not just train, because the robot is usually, the human is usually trained on data.
Yes.
But with this, you're giving the robot itself a wider span of data that it can capture by feeling.
Right now, most robotic companies, they are doing so-called VLA, meaning vision, language, and action model. They have the input from camera, basically. They can see what the world looks like, but they cannot feel what world is like. So from only the vision, a lot of details they are actually missing, especially like the shapes. Once you are grasping something, it's always occluded, so you cannot see the object you are holding. This step is currently missing in many robots, and this is what we hope to focus on.
And so this is the core part of the product, the tactile sensory. I also know that you guys also sell other types of products.
Yes, these three, they are mostly for larger applications like parallel grippers. So here is also one of the parallel grippers we designed, and it has the sensors on it already. So you can feel, once you touch it, it will move accordingly. And we also make the sensors into the Dexterous hand. So inside this Dexterous hand, it also has the same sensing tactile sensors in the fingertip.
People don't really know that with the actual 2 clippers, you can do like 95% of the work,
yes,
right?
Yes. And right now, most of the parallel grippers, they are doing pick and place tasks. So these tasks, they don't involve high dynamics. One reason they cannot be performing a lot of dynamic tasks, for example, they can hold something, and inside the fingertips, they can also adjust the pose of the components just using 2 fingers. But they cannot do it right now because they don't have the sensing capability. Once they have, actually they can even increase from 95 to maybe 99 of the tasks.
Pretty much solving that last mile, which
in
reality is the biggest problem in the industry, right? Like doing
Yes.
those small tasks or handling like lightweight or very small components.
Yes.
That's what the industry is striving to solve. You're not only selling the sensors with your own humanoids, but you're also selling to other robotic companies or actual clients that can benefit a lot from your sensor with their existing products or their existing robots.
Apart from the sensors, actually we focus a lot on the integration of sensor, because to use the sensors, integration is very important. So here we also have our own design hand, so the sensor can be better adjusted to fit the hand. And here we have the exoskeleton to control the hand. We also have larger ones, larger scale data collection, which is the robot arm. Once the human wears this wearable device, the robot arm will follow the motion of the humans. So the human motions will tell the robot how to move, and the robot can do the tasks. During this process, the data from the robot is collected and recorded to train the robot, and so the robot will be more and more intelligent.
Very cool. I think that when people see this, the first thing that comes to mind is it kind of somewhat resembles a human shape, but it doesn't have legs. So we'd love to get your thoughts on that.
That aligns with our company's strategy, because we focus on the upper limb. We focus on robotic manipulation, which will create the most business values inside. Because for robots, the real value will not lie in, for example, jumping or like running, this kind of stuff. The real value will be in handling tasks, handling the real manipulation problems. Upper limb, the robot arm, grippers or hand with sensors will solve most of the problems. To train the robot to make it more intelligent, we need a massive amount of data. The sensing capability is one important thing. Another thing is the data collection. That's why we build and we sell these data collection systems, because we think to achieve the level of autonomous robot, we have a long way to go. And in this journey, the data will be a key step.
What struck me the last time we met is there's a lot of companies that have strived for developing the best looking humanoid before they sell it. In your case, you built a functional product and started selling already, so you're already making revenue, which is what a lot of companies aren't doing yet. What has been the strategy there in terms of building a product that actually works and working with your existing clients?
Yes, in the actual deployment, a lot of customers, they would like to have the ability to solve their own tasks. Some customers, they don't just put forward a problem. They want us to work with them together to solve this problem. But they have a lot of different problems. So they want us to first work together to solve a batch of problems and to establish the whole pipeline. And later on, they can replicate the same process to their new tasks. And this is also very important for many customers. Therefore, so from our side, we don't identify ourselves as a hardware company. And we also don't regard us as like a problem solver, but we provide capabilities to our customers.
A lot of companies, they of course want to implement robots into their manufacturing to essentially automate all of the tasks. But as you just said, there are companies that need to solve or automate some of their processes right now. They cannot wait until a humanoid company comes out with a robot that can automate 90% of the work. they want to start with a product that can start automating maybe 5% of the work or some specific chores in the process. So that's very interesting that you are already doing that with some of your customers. And so right now, going more into the product itself, right now you're selling domestically or you're selling all around the world?
Well, for our products, the humanoid robot is mostly domestic. In terms of the data collection system and for the tactile sensors and hand, these we have been selling abroad. But right now, why the robot is mostly domestic is because a lot of the scenarios, they are basically in the industry or like factories. And in China, we have so many production lines to do that. And they are a large amount of opportunity or market is in China right now.
Let's say when you start working with a client, how does the actual process of implementing your products within their factory, for example, how does that usually work?
First, we work on the agreement on the hardware side, and then the next step, the key step is how, during the data collection system, how do we work together? Sometimes they are more open and they would like us to dive into the problem specifically. And some customers, because they have their own R&D team and they want to work on the problems themselves. So it depends on different kind of customers.
Okay. And so I also wanted to ask, given how competitive the market is, especially in China, not only outside, how does Daimon position themselves in the market right now, especially with so many companies?
Yes, we have many robotic companies in China now, but few identify themselves as dexterous manipulation. And because we have the sensing capability, this is very different from others. As I said, most of the companies, they are working on vision language action models. They don't have the tactile sensing modality right now because they are short of the sensors. Without tactile sensing, the tasks is basically very limited.
Very cool. I really like that you're not only a robotics company yourself, but you position your market in a way where you don't only sell to, let's say, a computer factory that needs to automate their manufacturing processes, but you're also providing value to other robotic companies. So at the end of the day, you're not competing with them, you're actually helping them. Because you also sell your tactile sensor to all of these companies that they can benefit.
Because we think the robot market will be large enough. So there will be a big share for everyone. This is no doubt. So the problem is, how do we work together to solve these problems?
How important is for Daimon functionality, not only the data, but the actual functionality of the product for your client?
Yes, because we focus on the real commercial value, which is the manipulation capability. For industrial applications, they don't really want you to be the cheapest, but they want the most robust hardware. Whether it is cheap or not is not important, but if you can work for more time, relatively speaking, you are still cheaper. So this is more important. And we want to make all the hardwares we build are robust enough to survive for a long time. Therefore, in the long run, when they are calculating the actual ROI, they think it is worth doing it.
And then with your existing customers, at the end of the day, when you start working with, I don't know, big companies like Lenovo, I don't know if we can say it, but...
Yes, it is. Lenovo is one of our investors, and Lenovo is helping us a lot. Actually, this robot itself is built in Lenovo. It's built in Lenovo's assembly line.
It's very cool because as a startup yourself, it's amazing that so early on you managed to land such a renowned partner, because for a startup, it gives you the resources, not only the facility to start producing, but the resources to work with them, gather data, train the models, adjust the product, and down the line, bring out a better product for the market. And then you're starting with them in a small factory, but a client that has such a global exposure, you can eventually down the line roll out all of your robots across all of their factories around the world. So it's amazing that you guys have secured such a partner so early. Me está poniendo aquí todo, ¿eh? ¿Quién le iba a decir? Right now it's perfect timing because I'm sure you've seen yesterday or 2 days ago 1X. They showcased their Neo humanoid that, as I was mentioning before, it's purely consumer, right? But it's controlled by humans, so...
Really? It's remote control?
I think it's controlled. They see that...
they're collecting data inside the people's home?
I think their strategy, I'm not 100% sure, but I think the strategy is to retail it for quite cheap. To
40,000?
To incentivize the actual consumers to buy the product so that they can start gathering data as fast as possible. They strive for that aesthetic consumer product, which looks very cool, but to what point is it functional? ¿Qué me estás contando? Está guapardo esto, ¿eh? ¿Qué dice mi nuevo compa? Ahora estoy cerrando las pezuñas. ¿Y puedo agarrarme? Mira la pose. Mira la pose. So in Lenovo, for example, how long are they working for, let's say, one day? Or they're working 24/7?
Not 24/7, but they have more than 10 hours every day.
¿Y se puede dabear? Me da la mano aquí. And then the camera is in the chest.
You see here is the camera. And
Abajo.
here's the head. It has a small screen to make facial expressions.
Me pillo uno para el domicilio ya. When you end up shipping the robot, are you going to ship all around the world, or
Yeah,
do you want
we
to
will
focus in?
I think the most valuable market will be the US and in Europe because they already have a labor shortage problem.
Yeah.
And also they have a lot of production lines as well. And these are the same kind of problems in China.
Yeah.
So once we solve the problems in China, we will be providing this to the US and in Europe.
And so right now you've only been 2 years in operations. How many employees do you have now? Because you're growing very fast.
Yeah,
right?
last year when I initially joined, we will have around 20 people, and right now we have almost 90 people already.
Almost 90.
And
Less than a
by
year.
the end of this year, we will be exceeding 100 definitely.
And so in 2 years in operations, you told me last time you raised funding. How much did you guys raise to date?
Right now it's around 300 million RMB.
And is that from regional investors, or do you have a
Right now it's mostly in China, but right now we are looking for some US dollars investors as well.
How many customers do you guys have now, more or less?
Wow, there are a lot. We have almost all the robot companies as our customers. The exact amount is hard to say, but really many.
Okay, so over 100?
Yeah, definitely several hundred
Okay.
at least.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Mirar dónde nos acabamos de meter. La sala de producción.
This is one of the problems we are working on with Lenovo. Assemble this computer board. It requires very precise sensing in the fingertip to put for example, the memory board onto the main board. During the insertion, you need to feel whether it is down to the bottom or not.
Exactly.
So it's sensing very.
So when you're, for example, introducing a RAM card inside the motherboard, it's very slight, the click.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's very interesting that with the sensors you can actually feel
Yes.
that
Even
process.
the small amount of click in the signals, you will see a small jump. Oh,
Yeah.
that is it.
And so Yipai, I wanted to ask, given that there's so much competition right now in the market, in the future, how do you see this industry evolving in the Chinese market, given that there's so much competition and you guys are focusing on functionality?
Yeah, that's a very interesting and very difficult question actually.
Yeah.
Well, I think the major difference you are talking about is also in terms of the potential customers. If you just want a robot to be inside their homes for entertainment, it's fine. But whether people want this robot to be inside their homes to do all the tasks is still very questionable, I think.
Yeah.
But for factories in China, because China is a very industrial country, we have so many factories.
Yeah.
In the US, it's kind of different.
At the end, you have a very nice strategy right now set up with your global partners. Now, like Lenovo, they're going to help you pretty much go global, at least in their company. So that account is going to grow a lot. I guess you want to tap into big global players that are producing in China.
Yes.
That can help you expand very rapidly down the line.
Yes.
Globally.
Yes, this is also one advantage to be in China because we are familiar with these Chinese manufacturers and we are familiar with their problems. Once we have already solved their problems, it can be expanded. We hope to use these as our success cases and later on using these cases to pitch into the foreign customers. Say, you see, I have solved the problems from Lenovo and right now you have the same problems, right? Let me dive into it.
How is it like working on a day-to-day basis in a humanoid company? I'm sure you face a lot of problems every day.
Yes, problems every day. Basically, every day's schedule is fully booked. So sometimes, for example, 2 days ago, I check my schedule. The day after tomorrow, I see, seems like it will be a simple day because the schedule is not full yet. But the day after, so the day before it, you will see the schedule is lining up one by one. You see, from 9 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock in the evening, all booked. And then the only time
your assistant books it for you.
Yes, and then later you see, the only time you can focus on your own problem, on your own task is after dinner.
Yeah.
That's the only time I can work on my own stuff.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is that you get to work on something that you like at least. Right?
Yes, yes, and things are progressing and things are changing very fast, and we can see the progress and see new results, new exciting results every day.
Lastly, I wanted to ask, where's Daimon in 5 years?
Well, given every day is changing so fast, it's very, very hard for us to predict what will happen in 5 years. But one key thing I would like to see is the sensing capability will be widely used in a lot of scenarios. That's my best wish for what Daimon will have a role. Because right now, it's still not very common, but it will be for robots to create this actual value, to do this fine scale manipulation. Yeah. We have to rely on this, and I would like to see Daimon Robotics is using the sensors everywhere in the robots.
Yeah, Yipai, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been amazing. Very grateful that you gave us this opportunity to come to your HQ. Looks like a factory, but it's
Yes.
it's a skyscraper.
Robotics people like this. They like to work with all the robots. See that white one? It was the very first generation of our humanoid.
This was in 2023.
2023. Yeah.
Very cool. It looks a little bit like the 1X in terms of the
Yes,
material.
because the clothes.
Yeah.
Second generation.
These are the second generation. Esto será un departamento, bueno, ahí ves los departamentos, Data Acquisition, Tactile Sensing, aquí habrá unas 30 personas más o menos, pero son 90, como nos han comentado antes, 90, ¿no? You're 90 right now.
Yeah.
90. Así que next year you might be 180 or something.
And then,
With weight.
yes, with weight, the shear force, it can detect the shear force and it can grasp harder to avoid slippage.
No way.
You see?
Es increíble.
It's
Mira,
gradually
lo está apretando.
squeezing.
So cool.
Yeah, to avoid slippage.
Chulísimo. Very cool.
You can feel.
O sea, hasta una pluma es capaz de agarrar. These are exoskeletons that are already
Yes.
bought and will be delivered to your customer.
Yes. You can see the sun side.
Yeah. This is so cool. This is 保安是吧？
对，保安。
Os lo venía diciendo. Pero qué locura acabamos de ver, por favor. Qué locura acabamos de ver. Yo estoy sin palabras, no sé vosotros. Pero qué tipo de tecnología están desarrollando aquí. Esta mosca se va yendo. Señores, primera de muchas. Primera de muchísimas. Vamos a ir por todo China viajando. La semana que viene nos vamos a Shanghái, vamos a ir a ver BYD. Bueno, BYD está en Shenzhen, pero vamos a ir a BYD, Xiaomi, vamos a ir a ver Xiaohongshu, que es el Instagram de China, vamos a ir a ver el HQ, vamos a ver también Minimax, que es uno de los top 6 AI models. Señores, estamos empezando aquí a acceder a estamos empezando a acceder a un tipo de empresas que son muy interesantes enseñar al público, ¿vale? Seguimos. Vamos siguiendo. Abrazo.